everyone and happy Monday. We are going to be making a love potion today. I think that's what it is anyway. But we do have quite a lot of details on this page from Johanna Basford's weekly planner. This, excuse me, is a picture from World of Flowers, I think. It's really cute actually, I really like it, although it's a bit small now, it's been shrunk, but we'll manage. What I decided to do was to grab my Brutfuner Macaron pencils, the ones that look like this, and have a go with these. Now the sort of, excuse me, the sort of pastel-y tones, but there's a few more bright, more intense colours as well, I thought would be really good for this page. So we'll see how we go. Sometimes, I'm sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Sometimes find that when I'm using a pastel set that I feel like I need some darker colours to add some shade, shadows, that sort of thing. Now, if you've got a huge set of Brutfuners, you might have those, but I've only got these and the metallics. I say only, it's plenty, isn't it? Very lucky. So I don't have any really dark ones. So what I'm going to do is have a go with these, and then if I think I need something else, I'll grab a different pencil, add some shadows if necessary. But let's get a colouring. Now, I'm afraid it's still dark this morning, so I'm going to come in quite close. There we go. We're going to do this vine up here, leading up to these, what they call bleeding heart plants. So I'm going to grab a green that I think would be good. No, I'm going to grab the celedon green. Let's just say that. I'm trying to get it out the tray. That's not the right one. I'm just going to pop them all up a bit. Oh, it might be in the other tray. Oh, here it is. Celedon. There we go. It looks really bluey green. I'm sorry, the light is rubbish. But on my swatch chart, it looks a bit different. Anyway, we'll see how it comes out. Now, we can see on this vine, we've got lines going across all the way up. I'm not really sure what those are, so I'm going to colour over them to start with. So I'm just going to start colouring, really, and just get a nice layer of colour down. And then we'll see where we go from here. Yeah, it's a really cold morning. My desk is freezing. I'm leaning on it with my arms as I colour. It's like, brr. But it's fine. I think it was -4 last night. And yeah, that's quite cold. Now this vine that's going around, I think has these heart-shaped flowers on. So I'm not going to colour those. I'm just going to carry on with the stem at the minute. Yeah, it was quite cold. And although my heating's on full, it can't get the house warm. It's we don't have cavity wall insulation in our house. We do have a cavity, I think. I'm sure when we had our windows changed, I saw that we had a cavity in our house, which means that there's a layer of bricks on the inside. We've got a little branch here, I'm just going to do that one. And a layer of bricks on the inside, and there's a gap between them. Now the gap is there to create a sort of thermal insulating layer and to, leaves. I think I'll colour these in too. And to yeah, stop moisture getting in, because basically, as far as I'm aware from relatives of mine who are builders, if you don't have that, then the rain can seep in through the bricks and give you mould. So but my neighbour talked to a company about having cavity wall insulation put into her house, and she was told she didn't have a cavity wall. I called in a company to do it, and they said they couldn't do the back of the house because the equipment they have, because we're in a terrace and we're sort of mid-terrace and there's no back entrance to the property. I said they couldn't do the back of the house. Now, I also feel that because our houses are in a terrace, I don't know whether it would sort of fill up their cavity as well on their house, and how joined up we are, I don't really know. So you might end up just feeling like having to fill up the whole row of houses. But also I'm very worried about having it done. Now my parents have had it done on their 1960s house. Ours is a 1980s house. It's more modern. And the house is a lot warmer. Sorry, I didn't move across. Which is good for them. But they're getting patches of damp. They've always had a very damp house anyway. But in their bedroom now, just where they breathe at night, when they're in bed, they wake up and the wall is wet. Now it used to be when I was living at home, there were 4 of us in there, and I remember my bedroom was on the corner of the house and had 2 outside walls, and right in that corner I remember I had asked my dad to build a bookshelf, and I put my book against the wall and mould grew through the wall into the books. And even without the cavity wall insulation in there then, we had wooden windows which were very drafty, single glazing. They used to ice up on the inside, you know, all that. Sorry. And so and I remember my mum and dad had like a built-in wardrobe, so it was part of the wall, and my mum's clothes that were against the edge of the wall went mouldy. So they did always have a mould problem before, but it just feels to me like it has got a lot worse since they've had this cavity wall insulation. If I had wet walls, I mean, my sister used to not put her heating on in her bedroom, and she used to get loads and loads of condensation on her window, like it was running on the window. This was again the old windows, and my mum would put a cloth on the windowsill to catch it, and by the morning that would be frozen to the windowsill, you know. But these days their windows are very much better, the heating is better, etc. But they still get this mould problem, and I just think I don't want that in my house. Now that's the celadon that we've used. I want a bit of a darker colour to do some edges, and I'm just having a look at what we've got now. The only other really dark colour we've got green wise is leaf green, and it's more of an olive colour, but I'm just going to try it and see if I can get a bit of a I don't know what. I would just want some shadow at the bottom here. I don't know whether it'll just make it look yellow or whether it'll look like a shadow. I'm just applying it to the bottom, but all it's doing is making it look a bit yellow. Maybe I should have applied it to the top. It's not really darker, is it? Never mind. Got to go with it now. Started. But anyway, so that's why I'm sort of reticent to, we don't want to put cavity wall insulation in because of that. And you know, my mum's brother, who was a carpenter builder, and one of her other brothers who worked for a house building company, they're all saying, you know, the cavity wall is there for a purpose, you're not supposed to fit it up. Whereas in all these government schemes about doing it, and I think part of the problem is a lot of people have had it done, it hasn't been done properly, and then it leaves them little air gaps. Sorry, I didn't show you what I was doing. I went all the way up the edges and did a little bit at the bottom of these. I'm going to do a bit on the bottom of this one too. I don't know whether I've really added anything here. What I want to do now is just go over all the green a bit and just what should I do? Let's try the misty green. Where are you? Here you are. I'm going to just go over it all with the misty green. I'm hoping it might sort of just blend it all together. Sorry if I forget to move it. Maybe I should come out and then I won't. You can see what I'm doing. Maybe a bit better, I don't know. There we go. So I'm just going to go over all of it with this misty green. So it's a bit difficult to know what to do really. I know that we have got a drafty area at the front, by our front door, and I've been thinking, for every winter I try and think about what I can do about it, and I've tried a few different things over the years, and so far nothing has really worked. I know I think that it is because it's where our meter cupboard is set into the wall on the outside of the house, and there's only a single skin of bricks, not two. So there's a gap in the wall there, basically. That's making more cold air come in. People have said, well, why don't you build a porch on the front of your house? And I said, I can't, because the wall that I would have to build it onto doesn't belong to me. It's on my neighbour's house. So I can't do that. It would also infringe on a public path outside my front door. The path that leads up to my house is not my private property. It's a public footpath because my neighbours use it as well, and go up to their houses, so I can't do that. And we aren't allowed to change the front of our houses without getting planning permission, and because of those reasons it wouldn't be granted. So that's something I can't think about. My other thought is I could put some extra insulation on the inside of the house. I think that's the only solution, really. But on that wall, that is the badly insulated wall, on one side is a bit of it is the gap for the front door, so I can't insulate that, or so the door won't be able to open and close. Could be a bit of a problem. But the other, I could do it in a different part of the wall, but I've got loads of electrics in that wall. I suppose they could be pulled through, like our fuse box, for example. I think that looks better. It doesn't, I've sort of almost taken away where I was trying to make it look three-dimensional. I don't think I can do it. Unless I try and use a dark blue. I don't think it's going to work. I'm going to leave it. Let's leave it. Now we've got this. Let's go down here and do. No, let's do some flowers. Let's do some flowers. Here we go. Now we have these bleeding hearts. Now, bleeding hearts are usually my bleeding hearts in my garden are pink with white sort of bits coming out of them. Now I'm not going to do them white. What I thought I would do is a really pale pink for these, and then, because I'm not going to do a background here, and then a darker pink. So I'm going to use the confetti, which is a light pink. I'm just trying to find it. I think this is it. Yeah. Confetti. Oh, there. There you can see it. And I just sharpen it and do this sort of sticky out bits. I think it's supposed to be like they're called bleeding hearts. I assume these are like supposed to be the blood coming out. But as I say, mine are white, I think. But anyway, we'll just use a bit of artistic license. I know they come in slightly different colours as well. I don't like the name of the flower very much. Bleeding hearts. And use that a bit, I think, on these. I don't know why. I'm just improvising a bit. I don't know what they look like. Now we've got these strips coming out, and I think I'm going to do those in this pink too, because I'm thinking maybe that's, you know, I have done this before and done it in excuse me, that's part of that, isn't it? And done them in blue, like they're water, but I think they're supposed to be like coming out of the plant. I think it wouldn't be blue. So this is dripping into here, but it's also dripping into here, look, can you see? So we're just going to fill this bit in as well. To our funnel. Now, a lot of people have been, well, a few people, like millions, no, a lot of people have been asking about what, let's put a bit there, these pencils are like compared with the pastel tints. It's hard for me to say at this point in time because I haven't been using them for that long. I'm just grabbing my misty green again, and I'm going to do this little bit here where I'd missed it. So I think this bit here, and then these two. It's a bit early days to say. I like to be able to use a pencil quite a few times before I can judge it, if you know what I mean. Now I want a darker pink to the confetti. I'm going to use the carmine rose. Okay, carmine rose. I feel they're possibly, I think generally, in my experience, the Brutfuners, the round ones that I've got, these in the metallics, they seem a little bit softer than the Castle Arts metallic and pastel tint. Okay, so I feel like if you prefer a softer pencil, these could be better for you. I do seem to have to sharpen them a bit more often, which has got its pros and cons. Obviously, if it's a bit softer, then it can blend a little bit more easily, and it's easier to get an intense colour, I find, on a softer pencil, although that isn't always the case. It does depend. I'm just layering this up a bit because this bit needs to look significantly lighter. Well, I want it to. So yes, there is a little bit softer. Now I don't know how the prices compare. No, I've got no idea. I know that my Brutfuner metallics I had to buy off AliExpress, and they're quite hard to find on Amazon sometimes, whereas Castles are always available on Amazon and on their website, so availability could be an issue for you, so it's worth thinking about that. Price wise, I don't know. I have no idea how they compare. I am guessing that Castle's probably a bit dearer. I'm guessing. Customer service wise, Castle are very good, in my opinion, in my experience. If you're buying from Amazon, again, I've always found them extremely good, customer service wise, very good in fact. I've always had refunds and things like that sorted out very quickly, efficiently and politely, which is important. But also with Castle, I've not had to have refunds from them, but I've dealt with them in various ways. Sometimes the messages I get from Castle are a little bit inconsistent, but that happens with Amazon too. So when I've said to Castle, are you releasing your Harmonious pencils on Amazon, for example? Oh yes, we will. And then I ask them again, no we're not. Yes we are. No we're not. Who knows. As you can see, I am just blocking these in. You can see this is quite an intense pink. I would not say that this was pastel. I feel that with these Macaron pencils, there's sort of the first tray, like if you look at these first ones here, these aren't really pastel shades. These are, but I would say these are much more bright. I don't think they intended them to be all pastel shades. They're just called Macaron colours, you know. And I think it's good to have some brights as well, really, because a very pale pastel alone set, I find you would need to mix it with something else, as I was saying earlier. Anyway, so customer service, but if you're buying from AliExpress, I've got no idea. I really wanted to try out the metallics, Brutfuner metallics, and I had no idea. I'd never used AliExpress before. I didn't know whether I could trust them. I didn't know whether it would come. My husband said, look, just try it. I want to get them for you. Just go for it. They're not very expensive. I think they were less than £20. He's like, just order them and see. And it's fine. And so I did. And they came and it was all good. But I sort of put them in the same category as Wish, as Shane, as Temu. And I'm never very sure about what they're like because I don't use them very much. You know, I worry about some companies, and you know, it's not necessarily about how trustworthy they are, how their customer service is, but probably is, and how well they treat their employees. I know Amazon don't do that too well either. A lot of people in the UK dislike Amazon because they don't pay tax in the UK, but I have as a small business, I have an understanding of tax, and the US and the UK have a tax agreement where if I, as a UK small business, sell things to you in the US, I don't, but you know, if I have in the past used to sell stuff in the US, or my commission, like from YouTube, comes from Luxembourg, doesn't it? But my commission from Amazon.com comes from America, but I don't get taxed on that because the IRS, I've contacted them, I've sent them all my details and proved that I am British, and they know that we have an agreement that I don't pay American tax, but I pay British tax. So if I sell something to you in America, I don't have to pay tax on that sale, you know, on that income, but I have to pay my tax here, which, yeah, I do. So that is an agreement that the two countries have, and therefore, because Amazon.com, because Amazon, UK Amazon are not based in the UK, they've got their European headquarters in Luxembourg, I think they're in Ireland as well, they don't have to pay UK tax. And a lot of people get quite cross about that, saying they should do it, and you know, I can see that point of view, but they aren't breaking the law. Right, what I'm going to do now is use a slightly darker, more purpley pink. We have this azalea pink, and I'm going to use it slightly on the inside. So you see we've got a line drawn on the insides here. I'm just going to use a bit of that here to just try and highlight that a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work because I've coloured quite hard and the colours are fairly similar. So yes, so tax is an issue for some people. They won't buy from companies. I think another is it Starbucks? I can't remember. I may be just slandering companies, but there are other companies that don't pay UK tax that people get quite cross about, but as I say, I've got an understanding of the law that we don't pay it there, so they don't pay it here. So I don't know. I'm just going back to my carmine rose to just tidy up this bit here. So there's this understanding, and I don't know whether we benefit or US benefits more. I suspect the US benefits a bit more. I don't know, being a bigger country, but it's just an agreement that we have. Now I have these three arrows. Next, I am going to do them in a sort of purpley colour. There is a nice colour called cyclamen. I think it's supposed to be called cyclamen. I think there's a few spelling errors on these, and it is what it is. They're made in China. Why would we expect them to know how to spell perfect English? I certainly can't spell perfect Chinese or any. In fact, let's do these. I'm just layering up quite a lot actually, so I get as intense as I can. I realise I've picked a light colour, but I want to make sure we can see it's been coloured in. There we go. Now we have a little plant here. So yeah, I realise that my views are a bit controversial, to be honest, on the tax thing, but just because I know how it, you know, if I had to pay tax in America and in the UK, I would be paying 30 to 50% tax before I got any money from the US on any commission that I earned there, and then our tax here is what, you know, 25% on top of that. But I don't actually usually earn enough to pay tax in the UK, but in America there was no threshold, so I'd be paying it right away. So it would be quite expensive. This is called opal green. Now for me that's not an opal colour at all, but I'm going to try it here. It's quite subtle, but I think for these small heart shaped leaves, I think it's quite nice. It does show up a bit, not massively, but a bit. Everyone's still in bed. Well, my one son's up. I don't know if he's up here yet. He was having his breakfast. It's 20 to 9 now. It's getting late. Husband was up in the night though, in pain. He's pulled a calf muscle, and it's giving him a lot of pain. I did suggest he go to the doctor, but he just said, I don't want painkillers. And I thought, well, the doctor might be able to tell you what it is and, you know, give you some exercises or something, you know. But I found some exercises online. This is the mint green. I'm going to use it for these little tufty bits down here. I'll come in a bit closer once I've sharpened my pencil. They sharpen nicely, by the way. I've had no breakages yet. Early days. And I've got a really nice sharp, I've got a new sharpener, so the blade is lovely and sharp, and that makes a big difference to any, I think I'll do these as colour too, pencils. Now I have some grass here. We also have, it continues over the other side a little bit, so I'm going to pick a colour carefully for this. I'm going to go for this, what's this, surf green. Is that too blue? No, I'm going to use the surf green. We don't really have a grassy green, but it doesn't matter, does it? We're just playing around. Oh, my pencil lead's just broken. That's my fault, wasn't it? Definitely my fault. Oh, it wants to break again. I think because I left a bit of lead behind in the sharpener. Hang on. Yeah, if you don't empty the broken lead out, it's just going to keep breaking. I actually had a breakage in my electric sharpener yesterday, which is the first time ever, and I didn't know that one just wants to keep breaking. Oh, I'm going to take it next door and put it in my electric sharpener. It makes such a big difference. Hold on. Right, that's better. One through the once through the electric sharpener, and it's done. It is definitely a better sharpener, but it's just too noisy to use on camera. Right, let's do these tufty bits here. Now, I am actually just moved my pencil sharpener aside. I'm going to do these as well now. I know these are the tulip stems rather than grass, but I'd quite like them to be the same colour. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just trying to figure out quite where they're going. There we go. Oh, I'm quite excited. I'm hoping. I've been waiting for the last, oh, I don't know how long, week, for something to come through the post, and I'm getting so impatient. And actually, by the time this video is out, I suspect I would have done the video on it, so, but I'm not going to reveal, just in case. And I always feel like I'm sort of tempting fate if I say anything about it. So that sounds a bit silly, doesn't it? Perhaps I'm being really silly. But I'm very excited, and I'm impatiently waiting. And the one item, there's two. One item I've been tracking, and I know it's quite nearby now. The other item, I wasn't able to get any tracking information, and all I was told was, yeah, it'll come soon. No, that's not enough information. This is rose, I think this is rose grey. It's G-I-E-Y. I'm sure it's a typo. And we're going to use this for the tulips. I'm just going to have a go at those. There's too much to do here for just one video, but it's getting paranoid then. There's something wrong with my sharpener. I managed to sharpen this one okay. So I'm going to use this colour at the base. I'm going to fade it off and put a lighter colour on the tip of the petals, because we've got a bit more room on these. We can do more than one colour. I can hear the water running. I'm suspecting husband's got up. As I say, he was in pain last night with his calf. He woke up and he was fidgeting. I could tell he was hurting, and then he got up and walked around, and then he had a panic attack because the pain was so bad. I got him some paracetamol and told him to, I said, get your phone out and watch a film or something to distract you. And he's like, oh, it can't, it's too sore. I said, it's the best thing. You know, he's not very good at coping with pain. I know I've had pain, not unfortunately, never really, but you know, I've had like frozen shoulders and things like that. So over the years, I've had pain. Now I'm trying to find another purpley colour. The cyclamen is possibly the right one to go for. Yeah, we've used this already. What do we use it for? Oh, the arrows. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of the cyclamen, which I think is the cyclamen. It's actually quite a different colour, but I'm just going to go over it all and just sort of fade it up into this a little bit. Yeah, I've had fair bits of paint, so I know how to cope, you know, even like, you know, monthly pains and things. What you do is you have to either, you take a painkiller and you distract yourself, I find. It's the only thing you can do. Now, the very tips, I quite fancy trying the colour called pink complexion, but I think it might be a bit peachy, but we'll have a go and see. Just, I'm going to put it over all of it, and I think it will change the colour of the whole thing anyway. Yeah, it will. It's quite unusual what I've done. You might think it's not very nice, but I'm quite interested in it. It doesn't look like a tulip, but hey, what does that matter? Yeah, so basically I got him some pills. I was gonna rub his leg, and I went near him and he screamed at me. Oh, don't touch it. Okay, I won't then. But he calmed down quite quickly after he got his phone. I'm just going to do this flower. This one is interesting. It's got all these different layers in it. Oh, my canary dog barking. Woof, woof. I'm going to grab this Violet Storm. Do it in this colour. Sorry, I don't think you can see. It's beginning to get... Oh, there's the cutest little bird sitting on top of our neighbour's chimney pot. Oh, I can't work out what it is. It almost looks like a duck. I'm trying to work out how to colour this. What I would like to do, it's gone now, is make it darker in the middle. So each petally bit is a bit darker and then fades to the edge. I'm going to try and do that, but it's very small. So I'm just going to do my best. If that's too fiddly for you, just block it in. And yeah, just block it in. There we go. Yeah, the sun's coming up now. It's getting brighter. I can see all the frost on the roof opposite. It's white. But we're not forecast any snow now. It's going to get a bit warmer next week. We're going to have mist and cloud. But no rain for ages, which is good because some areas of the country have been having floods. It's the extreme weather we're all getting. It's not good, is it? Still, hopefully we can all do our best to help others that are affected and to try and not make it any worse. It's not easy, is it? You feel a bit like it's just little you. What can you do? I think if we all do a little bit, we're helping. There we go. I know that the place that I buy my pencils from, my open stock coloured pencil shop, I'm just trying to decide on the colour for these leaves. Do you have a leaf green? Have I used that already? Yeah. Now that's one I used there. No, that's too bright. What's this? I'm going to grab this. I think it's willow green. Yeah, willow green. Yeah, the place I buy my pencils from is Coloured Pencil Shop. and she is a B Corp, which means she donates a percentage of her profit to charity, and she uses a tree planting charity, and every month she will post how many trees have been planted as a result of her donation, which I think is lovely. You know, because obviously by using pencils we're using wood, so planting trees back, giving back is great. But I know that some pencils are more eco-friendly type thing. You know, the companies, I said I was just going to do that, but I'm going to do this as well. The companies plant trees and things, which is good. I'm going to use this green flash. Is that really bright? No. The name indicates it's like neon, but I don't think it is. We'll see. I don't know. Now I've sharpened it, it looks quite bright. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, so she donates to some tree planting, and that's the sort of thing we can do. It's always hard to know who to support and who's the best, but try our best, I'm sure. Right, I'm going to leave that there for today. I'm just going to move my pencils out of the way a minute so I can come out so you can see what we've done. So we've got our quite strange looking tulips, we've done our bleeding hearts, a bit of our potion and some greenery, little flower here. So we're getting somewhere here, but I'm going to stop there for today and continue tomorrow with the next one. I've got some ideas. I don't know if they're going to work with the pencils that we've got here, but I'm going to play around and see. Why not? Let's have some fun. But thank you for watching today. I hope that you have a lovely Monday, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Happy colouring!